Hello again. Journal entry number 2. For anyone watching this video and who didn't watch the other one, I am having weight loss surgery. Been overweight my whole life. Just can't do it on my own anymore. So there are 3 options. So lat band, for anybody who doesn't know what that is, they put a band around your stomach. You have a conduit port just under your skin where you inject fluid, which expands the band, which contracts your stomach, so you can't fit a lot in there. There's a lot of problems with that, and there are a lot of complications, and I mean, really, if I wanted to be hungry, I would just eat less. It's not something I'm considering, so I don't even consider it an option. So I'm down to 2. The first one is called the sleeve. It's a relatively new procedure, and when I say new, I mean like the last 10 years. According to my surgeon, it was started in Quebec, and it was the first step to bypass. I guess for people who bypass was a bit too taxing on their system, or if they weren't healthy enough or whatever, you started with this and then you went to full bypass, and what they found was that the sleeve was actually sufficient. They didn't have to go to the next step. So they started doing the sleeve on its own, and basically I should have come prepared with diagrams, but the sleeve is they take your stomach. So let's say, I'm a terrible drawer, so don't judge. But let's say that this is your stomach. They cut it like that. And so all of this right here, they take it out. They suck it out. It's gone. You're left with a portion of stomach that is about the size of a banana. And so a lot of the gut hormones, they think, that are responsible for hunger and cravings and things like that, they get totally removed from the body. And you're left with this smaller pouch. Stomach remains intact. It's just a lot smaller, so you have a lot of smaller hormones, and those hunger things are gone. The bypass, and if let me see here, maybe I should use a marker. So in the bypass, so I really should have come prepared with a diagram. So here's your stomach, right? So they cut it here, and then they cut your intestine, goes down like this, and they cut it here, and they cut your intestine as well, about 100 centimeters of your small intestine, and then they bring, so you have a little tiny pouch of a stomach, and they connect your intestine, 100 centimeters of it up to here, and they essentially bypass the stomach and 100 centimeters of intestine completely. So your stomach pouch ends up being the size of an egg, or a thumb if you have a really big thumb, and then they cut out a section of your small intestine and bypass that altogether. Now the stomach stays in there. It is still connected, so it's still alive. It's still connected to blood vessels, and produces hormones and helps produce digestive juices and all of that. It still does its job. It just doesn't fill up with food. So the food is bypassing the stomach. So the stomach is still there. It's still doing its job. It's just not getting any food. And so my thought initially, I'm faced with these two issues. And my concerns, I don't know if I mentioned them in the last video. My concerns were, am I prepared to live the rest of my life without having a piece of pizza or a donut or a cookie? I mean, that's a really sad existence. Don't get me wrong, I love healthy food. I cook very healthy food. I eat a lot of vegetables. I was vegan for almost a year and a half. So I like healthy food and I like eating healthy food. I also like a burger. My problem is that, when I have a burger, I also have fries and pop and ice cream. Or when I have a piece of pizza, I have 4 and chicken wings. And, and I'm really trying to work on that. I know that the surgery is not going to help that. The surgery is a tool to help you lose weight, and you have to change your life. And I've been working really hard at changing my life. But I don't want to have an irreversible procedure that means that I can't ever again in life have a piece of pizza. Just one. Just a bite. Or a Timbit instead of a donut. Like, I want to be able to enjoy my life, and those little guilty pleasures are part of that. And so my thought was, you know what? The sleeve leaves you a bigger pouch. It's the size of a banana as opposed to an egg. So realistically, I should go with that because the healing would be better and I would be able to fit more food in there. And, it's less invasive. But not, they're both done the same way. Invasiveness, that's not the right word. It's less dramatic. You know what? They're cutting off a piece of my stomach, but it's still left. It's not bypassed completely. It hasn't changed my digestive tract in any way. It's just made that part smaller. So I had my mind set. That's what I was going to do. Bypass was scary. It was changing my whole insides. And then I met with the surgeon and asked him questions. And he thinks I should go for a bypass. And I can't not take the advice of my surgeon. Honestly, I had bowel surgery, as a quick aside, I had bowel surgery when I was young, very young. And it is a possibility that he might not even be able to do the bypass. So I've given consent for both, just in case he gets in there and there's not enough bowel, there's something with the bowel and he can't do the bypass, he'll do the sleeve. Because I do qualify for both. But now I just don't know. So I did research. I have a book. I write everything down. I'm ridiculous that way. And I did the things that I liked about each and the things that I didn't like about each. And I assigned a numerical value and then did some math, and it sucks because they both come out to the same damn thing. Oh, my book is downstairs. Shoot. They both come out to the same damn thing. And I don't know what to do. Like, bypass has a higher percentage of weight loss, which is good. But any weight loss is good. I don't want to rely on that. But bypass has a higher remission rate for diabetes, and I'd really like to not have to take diabetes medication for the rest of my life. Bypass cuts down on the amount of calorie absorption you do. I assume it's because you have less stomach as well as less intestine. It promotes, like, food passes through and you don't absorb as much calories for the rest of your life. It's a smaller sac, so it's harder. You'd really have to work hard to stretch it and get back to the same position that you were in before. At the same time, you have to chew your food until it's goo. Chew till it's goo. Really, that's what they say. And there's a lot of foods that you may never be able to tolerate. Everybody is different. I know that. But it seems more drastic. It changes your overall insides. But according to my surgeon, the difference is minimal. The difference in food you will be able to eat, the difference in recovery time, the difference in issues and problems is minimal. I don't know what to do. And then the sleeve, because it's taking a portion of your stomach out, it removes those hunger hormones, so you don't feel hungry. The bypass doesn't say that. And then the sleeve doesn't say you have to chew till it's goo. And then I ask people, in bariatric support groups and what they choose, and everybody is different, and they made their decision because of, different things. But they all have a valid reason. And then you get some people who had the bypass and regret it, or some people who had the sleeve and wish they had the bypass. It's so hard. I have to have a decision made by next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, I meet my surgeon at the hospital in order to have a scope put down my throat. That's the next step. And then after that, I guess there's some additional blood work, and then maybe I get a surgery date. I don't know right now. But I have to have my decision made and confirmed with my surgeon by next Tuesday. And I'm lost. I have just as many good things for both. For each. I have just as many bad things for each of them. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I mean, realistically, I should listen to the surgeon, right? He's the one that does these all the time. He's the one that does the follow-ups and he's part of this clinic, and they follow people, and he sees what they go through and the successes and what works and what doesn't for certain people. Like, if there was ever an expert, it would be him, right? If there's ever anybody to tell me the right answer, it would be the man doing the surgery. And maybe that's what I have to do. Maybe I have to stop listening to everybody else and stop reading, sleeve versus bypass, and just listen to the expert. I don't know what to do. That's where I am. That's what's going on right now. There's so much more going on right now. I had my surgery prep class over the weekend. That's in a video to follow. Sleeve or bypass. That's my current decision.